The Conjuring universe has been going on now for over a decade. Have they gotten better? Have they gotten worse? Should they keep going or call it a day? Let's get into it. The Conjuring is a supernatural horror film based on the real life cases of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The first Conjuring, directed by James Wan. In 1971, the Perrin family, Roger, Carolyn, and their five daughters, move into an old farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. At first, life seems normal, but strange events soon begin to occur. Clocks stop at the same time every night, which is 7 minutes past 3 a.m. Very spooky. Mysterious clapping noises echo through the house, and the family's dog is found dead outside. I already hate this demon. As the disturbances intensify, Carolyn Perrin seeks help from Ed and Lorraine Warren, a married couple known for investigating paranormal phenomena. Lorraine is a clairvoyant and medium, while Ed is a demonologist, and we can all agree they're both out of their minds to pursue this life. When the Warrens visit, Lorraine immediately senses a dark presence attached to the house, and specifically to Carolyn. They discover that the property once belonged to a witch named Bathsheba Sherman, a Satan worshipper who sacrificed her infant to the devil before hanging herself in 1863. Bathsheba cursed anyone who would try to take her land. She must be Netanyahu's great grandmother. The Warrens install cameras and recording devices to document the paranormal activity. As the nights pass, the family experiences terrifying hauntings from the spirits of dead children to Bathsheba herself, who appears to possess Carolyn. The Warrens learn that Bathsheba's spirit has attached itself to Carolyn and is trying to force her to kill her own children. During a violent confrontation, Carolyn is possessed and attempts to murder her own daughters. Ed decides to perform an exorcism himself, despite not being authorized by the church. Lawsuits, Ed. Lawsuits. With Lorraine's help, Ed manages to draw Bathsheba's spirit out of Carolyn, invoking God's name. After a tense struggle, the demonic presence is finally expelled, freeing Carolyn and ending the haunting. The Perrin family returns to their home, now peaceful. The Warrens store the cursed music box from the Perrin case in their artifact room, alongside with other haunted items. Before leaving, they receive a call about a new case, one that will lead them to Amityville, teasing future stories. Now we move into The Conjuring 2, directed by James Wan again. Personally think Guy Ritchie should have directed this one as it's based in London. We'd have seen scenes like this.
Shut your fucking mouth!
No problem, John.
Shut the fuck up, you cunt! Shut it!
But anyway, the film begins with Lorraine Warren experiencing a disturbing vision while investigating the infamous Amityville haunting. She sees a demonic nun figure and a premonition of her husband Ed's death. Deeply shaken, she tells Ed she wants to take a break from investigating. This is a common theme through all the Conjuring films moving forward. Across the ocean, in Enfield, North London, Peggy Hodgson, a single mother of four, begins experiencing strange disturbances in her home. Furniture moves by itself, loud knocks echo through the walls, and one of her daughters, Jeanette, begins to act strangely, speaking in a deep, menacing voice, which I'm sure originally the mother probably blamed on the immigrants. Turns out it wasn't the immigrants, it was a spirit claiming to be Bill Wilkins, an elderly man who died in the house years earlier. The media and local church become involved as the haunting escalates and the case gains public attention. Reluctantly, the Catholic Church asks Ed and Lorraine Warren to travel to England to investigate and determine whether the haunting is real or a hoax. Lorraine hesitates due to a terrifying vision but agrees to go, as why not? It's only her husband who might die.
Fuck, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Do I look like I give a fuck? Because I don't.
Upon arrival, they witness bizarre and violent phenomena surrounding Jeanette, including possessions and levitations. However, evidence later surfaces that suggests Jeanette might be faking some of the events, raising doubts about the haunting's authenticity. Lorraine eventually discovers that Bill Wilkins is not the true source of the haunting. He is merely a spirit being manipulated by a far more powerful and malevolent entity, the demonic nun Valak, the same presence Lorraine saw in her vision.
Let's see if he's who we think he is.
Realizing that Valak is behind the Enfield case and connected to her earlier vision, Lorraine confronts the demon in a climactic battle. She recalls its true name, which apparently that is all that's needed. The Warrens save Jeanette and the Hodgson family, breaking the demonic influence. They return home to the US, adding a crooked man toy from the case to their collection of cursed artifacts. The final scene shows the couple dancing to Elvis's Can't Help Falling in Love, a moment of calm after the chaos. The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, directed by not James Wan, but Michael Chavez, but it was produced by James Wan. In 1981, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren are called to help the Glatzel family in Connecticut. Their 8-year-old son David is showing signs of demonic possession. During an intense exorcism, Ed suffers a heart attack, and Ann Johnson, David's sister's boyfriend, invites the demon to enter him instead, which the demon gladly accepted.
He must have taken it the wrong way.
After the exorcism, everyone believes the ordeal is over, until Arne begins behaving erratically. One day, he kills his landlord, Bruno Sols, stabbing him multiple times. Arne claims he was possessed at the time and has no memory of the act. I might use that one in the future. The Warrens, recovering from Ed's heart attack, decide to help Arne prove his innocence using the devil made me do it defense, the first time demonic possession is claimed in a US murder trial. To do so, they must uncover proof of a curse or occult influence behind the events. Lorraine's psychic visions lead them to discover that a witch's totem was placed beneath the Glatzels' home, connecting the possessions to a satanic curse. The Warrens track similar cases, including a suicide and another murder, and realize they're all linked to the same occultist. The trial leads them to Father Kastner, a retired priest who once investigated a satanic cult called the Disciples of the Ram. He reveals that his estranged adopted daughter, Isla, is behind the curse. Isla performs dark rituals to damn souls to the devil, requiring 3 sacrifices: the child, the lover, and the man of God. Lorraine uses her psychic link to find Isla's hidden altar in the underground tunnels beneath Kastner's house. However, Isla attacks her, attempting to complete the ritual by killing Ed. Under her influence, Ed nearly murders Lorraine but manages to destroy the altar with a sledgehammer, breaking the curse. Isla is ultimately killed when her own curse backfires on her, which by the way is a gruesome scene when she basically gets her soul taken out of her. Ann Johnson is convicted of manslaughter but serves only 5 years in prison. Ed builds a replica of the broken altar for their occult museum, symbolising the end of the case. Now, before I get into the 4th Conjuring, I just want to voice my opinion on the first 3 films and also the Annabelle nunnish sort of films. It's the same universe, so. The first Conjuring for me is the best one, which I know is such a cliche thing to say with films, as 90% of the time, the first one is always the best one. But when it comes to The Conjuring, I do like how each film offers something different as opposed to the same storyline each time. The second one brings the demon universe more to light, and the third film has an occultist as the protagonist rather than the usual demon. For me, there is an overall problem within the whole Conjuring Nun Annabelle universe which ruins the scare factor. It's seeing the demons too often. Now, I like visuals, I like the quick moments in the first Conjuring, such as when the demon is on the dresser, or when you see the demon's feet behind Ed's head for when she hung herself, and when the demon creeps over to possess Carolyn. But I also like the unknown. Like, for instance, when I watched the Blair Witch Project, I was waiting and waiting to get a glimpse of the actual witch, but not until the end of the film I realise it's actually more frightening to not see it, and it keeps the realism and suspense of the film going, as the more you see of the supernatural, the less scary it gets. And what's more scarier than the thought of this actually happening? You've also got to be careful how you introduce the supernatural, though, as it can come across cringe or corny if done incorrectly. Look at The Conjuring 2, for instance. When we see the nun in the hallway, it creates a great suspense and genuine fright to the whole situation. But scene after scene of glimpses and even a fight scene at the end just ruins the mystery and scare factor for me. Oh, and a side note, how daft is it that Valak was defeated by just saying the demon's name? What's the point as a demon in even trying when it's that easy to be defeated? And don't get me started on the first Nun film and how Valak was defeated by spitting the blood of none other than Jesus Christ himself at the demon. Like, come on. Which also, does that mean Christianity is the true, correct religion in the Conjuring universe then? I like the different route they went in the third film, having the occultist as the main villain. But let's be honest, have you seen that woman? She is the most obvious occultist I've ever seen. Even if she had nothing to do with it, I'd still have her arrested for something. She clearly looks like she has something evil going on in the past, present, or even future. She looks terrifying. If this was me, I'd have the case wrapped up in hours after seeing her around. That's another observation. Thank God demons and occultists look the way they do, because if they were attractive, we'd all be doomed. Imagine a Jessica Alba looking demon has come to possess you and your soul. I'd be stripped down to absolutely nothing. I'd put a restraining order on Ed and Lorraine Warren so they can't be anywhere near me whatsoever and tell the demon, go ahead, I'm all yours, love. I think I'm going way off topic here. But anyway, Conjuring 1 is good, but it gets slightly worse each film. The Annabelle films are alright, but just a bunch of jump scares and the doll teleporting around, really. As well as the Nun films, but I do like the first Nun film as the twist at the end is quite good, but very over the top, like previously mentioned, on how the demon is defeated. So let's get into The Conjuring 4. It is the ninth film in the Conjuring universe and the fourth in the mainline series. The main plot takes place in 1986, where the Smurl family are living in Pennsylvania. They are experiencing violent supernatural disturbances, apparitions, demonic attacks, strange noises, etc. You'd never have guessed that. The Smurls finally get Ed and Lorraine to investigate and confront the malevolent presence due to their daughter going to the Smurl family home to help first. The haunting is eventually linked to the mirror from the prologue, which acts as a conduit for the demon. As the haunting escalates, Judah, the Warrens' daughter, and her fiance Tony become involved. The demon exerts influence over Judah, leading her to a breakdown and even an attempt at self harm. At the climax, the demon attempts to destroy the family and the Warrens via the mirror. Ed attempts an exorcism, but the demon burns the Bible and fights back. Eventually, the mirror shatters when Ed, Lorraine, and Judy confront it together. Judith saying, "You're not here," helps break the demon's hold. Of course it does. The haunting ends, the Smills move out years later, and the Warrens retire from the frontline cases. The film is okay. It's not amazing or terrible, but just okay. It's a pretty bog standard Conjuring film, really. Nothing out of the ordinary happens. There's a family being haunted. The Warrens turn up, get beaten up, and then defeat the demon by some random action, which could have been done in the first place. I thought it was alright, but it's nothing to write home about. I mean, I could speak more about the first three films than I can about the fourth one. It's just it's a Conjuring film. Couple of scares. There's one decent scare, I think, when the father is being possessed potentially, and the demon is at the bottom of the bed. That's a nice little one. But other than that, it's just standard. Such a standard Conjuring film. I think they should start to maybe, retire the pen, retire the producing, retire the directing. Let's just let's just hang up the pen, guys. It was a good run. The first one was the best one, but yeah, let's call it a day. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've made it this far, I really do appreciate it. This is only my third video, so I'm still getting used to the editing, the voice stuff. I appreciate the comments as well on the last video. Well, it was the shorts, actually. I got comments on the shorts, not the actual videos, but I do appreciate it. Please don't forget, though, like, comment, subscribe. There will be more videos. I'm going to get in a bit more of a better routine. So yeah, I do appreciate everything, and tell me what you think. Do you guys like the Conjuring films? What's your opinions? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Let me know down in the comment section, and I'll reply to everybody. I'll try to anyway, all 0 of you.